from Kentucky.
And I'm from Elegy, Georgia.
I'm from Louisiana, Pencil Bluff, Arkansas.
Hundreds of volunteers came to New York to rebuild homes destroyed or damaged by Hurricane Sandy. Some drove more than 1,000 miles. Others gave up their vacations. Who are these volunteers? They're with the New York Says Thank You Foundation. The story of New York Says Thank You began 10 years ago with an idea from a boy who lived in Manhattan. Evan wanted to help the victims of the California wildfires. He collected toys, clothes, and food, and his father, founder Jeff Parness, drove a truck out west that said New York Says Thank You. It was a simple idea, but it launched the foundation, and the Pay It Forward philosophy has now become a national movement. Each year, the foundation rebuilds the week of September 11th in areas hit by disaster. Since 2003, New York Says Thank You has raised barns in Kansas to California, Louisiana, Georgia, Indiana, and more. Many of the volunteers you see pounding those nails, they are disaster survivors who have promised to keep the movement going. From New York City firefighters.
I've been part of this since year one. It just feels good helping other people when they need the help the most.
To firefighters who lost homes to Katrina.
New York Says Thank You. Volunteers came down and helped us out a lot. And we got 22 of our guys from St. Bernard Fire Department, Slidell Fire Department, and we're coming up here to help y'all just to return a favor.
This year, 22 firefighters drove from Louisiana, 7 firefighters flew in from Hawaii, and even a half a dozen crossed the border from Canada. Altogether, more than 500 volunteers came to New York to rebuild 13 homes of some very special people. Each homeowner is a first responder, firefighter, or police officer who was either uninsured or underinsured when Sandy hit.
You know, these are men and women, firefighters, cops, sanitation, they never ask for help. And you know, you realize in all the people who need help in the long-term recovery from Sandy, if you help them, they in turn help everybody else. So it's just our honor to do a small part here today.
Small part? Hardly. The foundation has rebuilt 80 homes since Sandy hit, with a long-term goal of completing 200 homes. Charlie Sadler is a New York City police officer whose home was rebuilt from the ground up. So too were his spirits. Married to Gina in August 2012, the couple fell on hard times. Both were diagnosed with cancer, and Sandy stole all that they owned. But a misdiagnosis for Gina, a clean bill of health for Charlie, followed by a knock on the door by New York Says Thank You, and the Sadler's life changed forever.
It's an unbelievable feeling to see people just take their vacation and come here and work 12 hours a day and give every last breath that they have each day, and can't wait to get back the next day to be able to put me and my wife back into our home.
Thank you for coming out and doing this for us. To the people around the country and to New York Says Thank You.
But these aren't tears of sadness anymore. These are tears of joy. For everywhere you look in this home, there is hope. There are pictures of what the Sadlers' new home will look like and some eclectic decor. Amongst all the construction, there is a prized possession, a pole, signed by all the volunteers whom the Sadlers call their angels. But these angels say they would have it no other way. It's their turn to pay it forward.
New York Says Thank You.org came to LJ 2 years ago to help us build a barn, and I got involved there, and it's meant so much to me for years.
New York Says Thank You came to our community about 30 miles away about 4 years ago. Met the guys through a supper from New York Says Thank You and loaned them some tools, showed up on a job, and I've been with them ever since.
It's the true sense of community, of bringing people together for the common core of what we're all about.
Since Sandy hit on October 29, 2012, the common good has rebuilt each week. There was firefighter Kinga Mielnick's house in Brooklyn. She was the 26th home. Hutch Ryder in Staten Island was number 48, and there are dozens more. Altogether, more than 700 volunteers have offered 4,500 hours of service, and standing in the trenches with New York Says Thank You since day one has been KPMG.
One of the firm's core values is giving back, is service to communities, is trying to share our blessings and good fortune with people around the country and around the world who really need it. And since Hurricane Sandy, the KPMG family has come out in force, helping a lot of folks up and down the coast.
For many, this yearly journey on the anniversary week of 9/11 is also about remembering 9/12, the day the world came together.
I was there at 9/11, right? So I was there on that dreadful day, but you know, I was also there when
saw New Yorkers and the rest of the country and the world, come to our aid when in our time of need. You feel really good that others care, and so being able to play it forward and do nice things for others in their time of need, it just seems like the right thing to do.
New York Says Thank You has now created an educational foundation to teach children about the power of volunteering. Launched in September 2012, it's called the 912 Generation Project, and it is now in nearly 1,000 schools nationwide, reaching as many as 500,000 students. There is a documentary film that follows these volunteers each year, a teacher's guide, and service learning projects. One of those projects is Stars of Hope. And at this year's Big Build, thousands of stars were painted with simple messages from children. Love, smile, and courage now bring color and hope to these New York streets where Sandy had once left darkness. The stars have traveled all over the world, to Ireland, Japan, and even to Kenya after the attacks. It's another way New York Says Thank You pays it forward.
We've been involved for a number of years, and I guess the thing is that what you find when you do this, and even with the flag tour, is that it's as much healing for the people that come and do the volunteer work as it is for the people that can help.
Really.
So whether you're from New York, Joplin, California, or Indiana, whether you lost your home to a tornado, a hurricane, or 9/11, New York Says Thank You has proven that when we come together, everything is possible.
And I always said I would just keep on going every year. As long as I live, I'm 69, and I've been declared the oldest here. And God only knows where we're going to go next year. We will be there because we're paying it forward.